Our headline: easier to pump, crypto coin backed by Trump's opens for trading. The full story gives us crucial context. Crypto traders will have their first opportunity to buy and sell the tokens tied to a project endorsed by Donald Trump and his family. The token, known as WLFI, issued by World Liberty Financial, will begin trading on September 1st. Early investors, who don't include founders like Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, can sell no more than 20% of their holdings, with the rest remaining non-tradable. This is a story that goes far beyond a single crypto token. It is a seismic event that reveals the complex and often precarious intersection of politics, finance, and decentralized technology. We're witnessing a new frontier of market manipulation, a redefinition of political fundraising, and a high-stakes experiment with the very nature of value. And we will examine how it affects the global stage, with a specific focus on the United States and our viewers in South Africa. Now, to truly understand the phrase in our headline, easier to pump, we must first break down the asset itself. The WLFI token is a governance token designed for voting on protocol improvements, but the tokenomics are what every trader, regardless of their location or experience, may pay close attention to. A significant portion of the total supply is reportedly held by the Trump family and its associated entities, giving them an unprecedented level of control. The fact that early investors are limited to selling only 20% of their holdings creates an artificially constrained circulating supply. This is a classic setup for a pump and dump scheme. A small circulating supply, especially when a significant majority is held by a few entities, makes a digital asset exceptionally susceptible to price manipulation. This is not hyperbole. It's a cold, hard analysis of market dynamics. A relatively small capital injection can dramatically inflate the token's value, creating the illusion of organic demand. This is a high-stakes gamble, not a stable investment. The launch of this politically backed cryptocurrency is a direct challenge to the established financial order. It blurs the lines between political influence and financial gain in an unprecedented way. For universal traders, this creates a new layer of uncertainty and risk that must be factored into every investment decision. The SEC in the United States and other global regulatory bodies are now faced with a novel and complex challenge. How do you regulate a digital asset that is part of a political campaign or a political figure's business portfolio? This isn't just about a company issuing stock. This is a powerful political figure directly influencing a market. The easier-to-pump nature of the coin could trigger investigations into market manipulation, putting the entire crypto space under a harsh spotlight. This increased scrutiny could lead to new, more restrictive regulations for the broader crypto industry, potentially stifling innovation and creating headwinds for established players. The fact that exchanges like Kraken, HTX, and KuCoin are listing WLFI means this isn't a niche concern, it's a global issue. The value of the WLFI token is not determined by a business's earnings report or a new product launch. It is determined by a presidential tweet, a policy announcement, or a public statement. This ties the fate of a digital asset to the unpredictable and often volatile world of politics. This can create a spillover effect where volatility in the crypto market, driven by political sentiment, begins to affect the traditional stock market. Now, research shows that while cryptocurrencies have historically been seen as an uncorrelated asset class, they are becoming increasingly integrated with traditional financial markets, especially during periods of turmoil. A crisis of confidence in a politically linked crypto could have a direct impact on the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq if institutional investors or major corporations have exposure to these assets. This is a new and potentially very unstable form of systemic risk. This crypto coin could be a template for a new form of political fundraising, bypassing traditional campaign finance laws and disclosure requirements. While the Federal Election Commission, FEC, has guidelines for crypto donations. This model could be used to raise vast sums of money from a global, anonymous base of investors. This is a game changer for political campaigns, but it also raises serious questions about transparency, foreign interference, and the integrity of democratic processes. For our viewers in South Africa, this universal story has a unique local dimension. South Africa has one of the highest rates of crypto adoption in the world, with a vibrant and tech-savvy trading community. However, this also makes local traders particularly vulnerable to the risks associated with this type of speculative asset. The South African Reserve Bank (SARB) and the Financial Sector Conduct Authority (FSCA) have taken a pragmatic approach, recognizing crypto as a financial product and focusing on regulating the service providers to protect consumers. However, the launch of a politically backed, highly volatile token directly challenges this framework. The pump and dump nature of this asset preys on the very sentiment that regulators are trying to guard against. South African traders, many of whom are new to the market, could easily be lured in by the hype and suffer significant losses. This could undermine public trust in the entire crypto ecosystem and lead to calls for more restrictive regulations, potentially shifting the very innovation that has made South Africa a crypto hub. The South African Revenue Service (SARS) is already using sophisticated tools to track crypto holdings for tax purposes. A highly volatile, politically linked token makes this even more complex. The constant price swings create a nightmare for calculating capital gains tax, and the opaque nature of some of these transactions could lead to non-compliance, resulting in hefty penalties for traders who are simply trying to navigate a murky market. A recent High Court ruling provided temporary relief from exchange control enforcement for crypto asset service providers, acknowledging that crypto assets operate in a legal gray zone. The introduction of a new, highly volatile asset from the US, which could have price discrepancies across different exchanges, creates a new avenue for arbitrage, but also a new layer of risk. Mismanaging these transactions or failing to comply with SARS and SARB regulations could have severe financial and legal consequences. Ultimately, the launch of a crypto coin backed by a political figure is a universal warning for all traders. It's a vivid illustration of how the world of finance is changing. The lines are blurring and traditional rules no longer apply. The core lesson here is to always question the source of a coin's value. Is it a product with a clear use case and a solid development team? Or is it a speculative instrument whose value is based on hype, social media, and a personality cult? For any trader anywhere in the world, the answer to this question should dictate your strategy. In a market where political sentiment can directly translate into financial volatility, due diligence and a disciplined approach to risk management are not just recommended, they are an absolute necessity. That's all we have today. Thank you for joining us.